Kentucky, home to bluegrass, thoroughbred horses, and trains. Kentucky is where we'll find the Kentucky Railroad Museum, where in addition to steam, we'll find the last of a breed of diesel locomotives.
Way back when our country fell in love with trains, this is what they looked like. And this is what they sounded like. The experience is still very much alive at the Kentucky Railway Museum here in New Haven. It's a history linked to key events in our history as a country. During the Civil War, New Haven was home to a church seized by the Confederates and used as a hospital. This rail line cut through the heart of a lot of the action during the war. The Sherwood Hotel, which sits next to the rail line, was built by Errol Johnson's grandfather in the 1870s. At the time, this was a town split by the war between the states, but also a town that managed to stay together.
Kentucky was neutral, so like my grandfather, he chose the Union side, so he had to go to Indiana to be sworn in. Mr. Hagan, his friend, all south of here, Bowling Green, all Confederate. He goes to Bowling Green, he's sworn in the Confederate Army in Bowling Green. Well, just like the picture, there's my grandfather and Mr. Hagan. My grandfather was a Union man, Mr. Hagan was a Confederate man. They're both in the same battle at Chickamauga. Mr. Hagan doesn't have a hand there. He lost a hand at the Battle of Chickamauga. They're both in the same battle. My grandfather has a crippled arm. He was wounded at the Battle of Stones River. This is an 1898 picture. After the war, they're still bosom buddies. It's like this never happened.
Today, it's a peaceful way to spend an afternoon. It's easy to get nostalgic about trains, and this one has a long history. On special days, you can step aboard and find all the gentility and grace of the once proud Flamingo.
The Flamingo was one of the named trains of the Louisville and Nashville Railroad, and it ran across this branch line on its way from Cincinnati down to Atlanta. The Railroad Museum here has recreated that in conjunction with a foundation in Louisville, and we have the Flamingo dining trips, and the china is the standard railroad white china. All the accoutrements, the salt and pepper shakers, the sugar bowls, the creamers, and so forth are all logoed with the L&N logo, much as it was in the 1930s and 40s.
Out the window, you see the countryside pretty much the way it was all those years ago. The 22-mile round trip wanders through the Rolling Fork River Valley.
It's great, and I like it because there's good food, and the waitresses and waiters are doing a good job. And I've never been on a train before. It's my first time, and it's great.
Out the window, it's a Kentucky where you can almost picture another era, one where this wasn't just a way to travel, but the way to travel: steam.
Steam engines are fascinating for a lot of people because they, in effect, live and breathe. When the steam engine fires up, it puffs, it huffs, much like people do. You can actually see the steam coming out of the cylinders, and it shows how the engine is working. And it has the noise to it, it has the whistle sounds. It brings back lots of memories for the older people, but for the younger people who have not grown up around steam, it still shows very much how things work and how steam locomotives work. And it's a living creature.
It lives and breathes right here for you in the heart of Kentucky.